with you to talk about Friday night football. We have two great games on this Friday night as we come into the first weekend of footy for May. We've just finished a fantastic March and even a better April. The results have been terrific. So we're all pumped up and very confident. And of course, we end this month in State of Origin 1, one of the most exciting times of the football year. So let's kick off Friday night. The first game we have is Eels versus Bulldogs, two rivals, long-time rivals. The last 9 times these two teams have met, in fact, Parramatta have won 6 of those games, although Canterbury Bulldogs got them twice last year. And I think it'll certainly happen again this year. And let's talk a little bit about why. Firstly, when I did the ratings for this game at 100% market, I assessed the Eels at 350 and the Bulldogs at 140. And certainly Betfair have got a similar market as that now, now being Thursday afternoon. Betfair are 310 Eels, 146 the Bulldogs. So as you can see, the market agrees with us, which means there's not a lot of value there. So we won't be betting in this game unless things change at this stage. But we can certainly talk about the outcome. And look, one of the things before the season started, we were a big opponent of the two key recruits that the Eels had, certainly their 5'8" Ben Roberts and their halfback Chris Sendo. We said that we didn't think either of them were regular first-grade starting players, and I don't shy away from that. Chris Sendo played park football last weekend. He's already been dropped and reinstated onto the bench. I've got no idea why he's on the bench. He's a halfback. He should be starting or he shouldn't be playing. It's pretty simple. Basically, I wouldn't have him in the side in a key position. He does too many things wrong for a key position player for me. And Ben Roberts, he never had it at Canterbury. I've got no idea why he was recruited. And look, he had a shocker last week, but that's Ben Roberts. Ben Roberts has got all the ability in the world. He can bust tackles. He looks fantastic. Very fit, very strong. But he's got a couple of minor problems which are crucial when you're in a key spine position. He doesn't know how to pass properly, cannot tackle, and is not a good tactical kicker. Pretty important assets for a key 5'8" in a team. Ben Roberts doesn't have any of those things. He can certainly put in a good game from time to time, but trying to get him to reproduce it week in, week out, it just ain't going to happen. So look, he's going around again this week. I've got no idea what the coach is going to do with Chris Sandown. He may even bring him on and play him hooker. How would you know what this coach is going to do? He brought Ryan Morgan back on this week. And he'll combine with Ken Seo. Neither of those two guys have got any idea in defence, and you can only imagine that the very strong left side attack from the Canterbury Bulldogs will have a field day there. We're talking about Frank Pritchard and we're talking about Morris. We would think that both Josh Morris and Frank Pritchard will do very strongly down that side. We can expect some tries without any doubt. Look, just on the Bulldogs side, it's good to see that the coach, it's taking him a while to do it, but he's finally made Greg Eastwood as the starting lock forward. We had him down there before round 1 as the lock forward. Got no idea why he's been playing him off the bench. He certainly should have been there from day 1. He certainly offers a lot to this Canterbury side, and as he gets fitter, he'll just continue to be a powerhouse in that position. He's actually very fast for a big man, but sums up the game very well, and has got terrific second phase play capabilities, something that a lot of the forwards in the Bulldogs team have got. James Graham is another guy he's got coming off the bench. James Graham is one of the best forwards in the world, and just because he came from England, the coach doesn't seem to think that he's good enough to start. That's just ridiculous to have players like Sam Cassiano and Dean Hallertau, Aidan Tolman starting in front of James Graham. Just ridiculous. He should be up there and starting. Teams just can't get away with a bad start in this day and age. They need to get to a lead and try and capitalise on that lead. It's too hard to play catch-up football, and you must start with your best team. So, look, he's finally got Greg Eastwood in. Let's see if we can get James Graham in before the season finishes. One guy who he has got in the team, he's been starting every week, Josh Reynolds, and if you listen to the commentators on Channel 9, you'll think he's a world beater. Let me just tell you, he missed 6 tackles last week, and he's now the second worst tackler in the NRL for missed tackles. He's got absolutely no idea whatsoever in defence. His technique is disgraceful. He just falls off players. No one's disputing that he's a goer and he's got plenty of ticker and he's got a bit of spite in him. That's all fine, okay? But he's playing a key spine position. He's playing 5'8". And to be honest with you, I can't work out who's the worst defender out of Ben Roberts or Josh Reynolds. They're both hopeless. And neither of them should be playing first grade in a key spine position. I'd have no problems with Josh Reynolds coming off the bench and filling in at hooker for 10 minutes or so, but to have him starting in a key spine position is just ridiculous. And, you know, if Gus Girl wants to rave on about him, let him join Penrith, like some of the other recruits that he's produced for Penrith this year, and you'll see that he'll go just as good as some of those recruits that Penrith have done this year. I don't know what games they watch, some of these guys, but Josh Reynolds is not a starting first grade player in my opinion. Aside from Gus Girl and Channel 9, Mark Geyer has got him playing Start of Origin hooker, Josh Reynolds. Look, I can only imagine that Mark Geyer just watches the highlights of the footy every week and doesn't actually watch proper games and some of these guys' technique. Defence is a critical part of rugby league. And sometimes you can hide a bad defender, but you know, when they're making 6, 7, sometimes 9 missed tackles a game, they just can't be in first grade because people are going to target them. They're going to know that they can't tackle and they're in trouble. That's the situation we've got with Josh Reynolds. For Canterbury Bulldogs to go ahead and be a serious contender in this competition, they need to sort out their defence in the 5'8" position, and they need to get Hodgkinson back, their half-back. He hasn't been named. The mail is he's not far away. Would be no great surprise to see him run out in this team. And now look, while I think the Bulldogs will win this game by more than 2 tries, it's no surprise for me to see the Eels cause a surprise here and certainly be very competitive in this game. Don't ask me why I'm saying that. I guess I'm saying it because of Jared Hayne. He is that good and he can control the game. We're going to see 2 well-being fullbacks on show here, Jared Hayne and Ben Barber. Ben Barber, for me, should be on the bench for the Start of Origin in Queensland. I don't know if that will happen. I think they will go for big men, but he would certainly be on my bench. If you're behind, I can't think of a better player to have on the bench than Ben Barber to come on and make a break and set up a try or get a try himself. So for me, look, I think Canterbury will win this game pretty comfortably, but I don't want to be doing anything in the game. I have too much respect for Jared Hayne, and he knows that he has to put in a big one if he wants to get that number 1 position for the Start of Origin. We all think he's a fullback, but Ricky Stewart doesn't think he's a fullback, so it looks like Jared Hayne could find himself maybe centre or even nowhere. How would you know what's going to happen with Ricky Stewart? Look, let's have a look at the second game that's on the weekend, and this is a really interesting game: the Cowboys versus the Dragons. And look, let me just say up front, I'll just do the prices first. I assessed the game at the start of the week. Cowboys 170, Dragons 240. That was Monday night after Monday Night Football. Betfair also assessed. Not assessed, at 102% Betfair, Cowboys 170, Dragons 230. Now I've made the Dragons 240 at 100%, but basically we're the same. So once again, there's not a lot of value in this game, and while the Cowboys should win at home, the Dragons are a very good defensive side, and I don't think there'll be much in this. The last 8 times that they've played up there in Dairy Farm Stadium in North Queensland, North Queensland Cowboys have won 6 of these games. So you can see the Dragons don't really like to travel too much. Let me just talk a little bit about this side. And here's the 2 key things for me. There's a guy playing on each side here, both for the Cowboys and for the Dragons. In my opinion, both of them should be retired. I don't know why they're playing. I'm talking about Aaron Payne, the starting fullback for the Cowboys. Shouldn't be there, shouldn't be playing, should be retired. And I'm talking about the lock forward for the Dragons, Dean Young. He shouldn't be there, should be retired. Look, the guy can't even walk, can't train, so why is he on the field? Has anyone been watching his games this year? Have they been watching the missed tackles? Have they been watching the way he can't catch a ball? He's just an absolute passenger, and you cannot carry passengers. Both teams have got 2 passengers here, and it's not like they haven't got any talent to replace them with. We've got an outstanding young hooker called James Seguiaro, who should be starting. He come on after 20 minutes last week, and he absolutely carved them up and put the Cowboys back into the game after they were getting hammered with Aaron Payne as the starting hooker. he just offers nothing. He's just not dangerous at all, does not know how to make a break, where every time Seguiara's got the ball, he looks like he's going to do something, and he complements some of the wonderful players that are in the Cowboys side, Matthew Bowen and Jonathan Thurston in particular. They certainly go much better when Seguiara's there. He takes a lot of pressure off them, and it's a no-brainer to have him starting. Why the coach keeps persevering with Aaron Payne, and in all honesty, Aaron Payne was gone last year. If you had watched him last year, why on earth would you back him up again this year? I don't know how much some of these coaches earn, but they're just not watching games. He shouldn't be there, Aaron Payne. Been a great player, but time's passing by. He should be gone. I think, despite all that, I still think the Cowboys will just about get away with this game. But there's no value. Certainly, we don't want to be chiming into the $1.70. And I'm happy to take odds against the Dragons in any game, quite honestly, because what you see is what you get. You know you're going to get an honest performance from them. They're good defenders. Look, the big upside for the Dragons, as far as I'm concerned, is I don't think they're playing a good style of football that can actually win them semi-finals. You might note they get to a lead and then they stop. If they decide to put the button down and just go crash and play attacking football for 80 minutes, I think they can carve up most of the teams. I would like to see them come into this game and just attack, and I think you'll find that they'll be much more competitive. When they get into defence mode, that's when they get into trouble, and that happened last week, and they've been very lucky in some games getting away with it. You can't do that in a lot of the games. You've got to play for 80 minutes. I like the fact that they've bought Kyle Stanley. He comes back into the centres, and he's going to replace Matt Pryor, and also Bo Scott is out injured. Now, Matt Pryor is a good replacement for Bo Scott to go into the forwards, but Kyle Stanley offers a lot more speed and a lot more thrust in attack for the Dragons, so that will be a big help for them. Unfortunately, we've still got Dean Young as the starting lock, and he's... Look, let me say about Dean Young, I think he's a wonderful talker, and the players go terrific around him, and he revs them up, and he's great to have on the field. But in terms of God-given talent, he's completely gone, and he's just an absolute passenger. And you've got a young kid called Jack DeBellin, who looks very promising, very enthusiastic, can break tackles, can get balls away, and he looks like he's going to do something when he's got the ball, and that's what a lock forward should be. There's no question that DeBellin should be starting in place of Dean Young, but obviously Dean Young's dad, Craig Young, is on the management team there, and he has a lot of pull, and obviously Dean Young's not going anywhere, I wouldn't think, for this year, but maybe sanity will prevail, and the coach or even the chief executive will have some say in it. Look, I think it's sad to see good players like Aaron Payne and Dean Young keep on playing when it's way past way past their best. The Roosters have a couple of players that are going around at the moment in a similar vein. I think it's disappointing, and no one likes to see it. Everyone likes to go out when they're playing good football, but these guys earn so much money, and they have to play to earn the money. And I think Dean Young is on something like $350,000, where honestly he's playing like a $25,000 player. It's just ridiculous. And you know, from the Dragons' point of view, let's hope it doesn't cost them any games. It's already cost them one game during the year when the Dragons were set up to kick a field goal, and the ball came to Dean Young, and he just dropped the ball cold, where he just could have given it straight back to his 5'8", and they kicked the field goal under the post. Just a little thing, but you just can't keep getting away with that over a season. So look, there it is from me. I think both games will be very entertaining. At this stage, in terms of investing, I don't want to do anything on the games. I think there's some more attractive games during the weekend, and certainly members will get that information from me, and we'll continue on a good trot. Just one further thing on the Cowboys game. My mail is that the Cowboys will be getting a big injection with the inclusion of Matt Scott, regarded as one of the best prop forwards in the world. He has had a crook back. The mail is that he's trained okay, and he's likely to be starting in this game. And just from a confidence point of view, that's a wonderful thing for the Cowboys, and certainly a wonderful thing for the Queensland State of Origin team. Not that they're short of top-class props. They've got about 6 or 7 of them, but there's none better than Matt Scott, and they need him to counter the New South Wales forward pack, particularly Gallen. And looking forward, let's hope everything goes good for Matt Scott and he's back, and all the best players are available for State of Origin. We'll be talking about that in a couple of weeks. So look, there's the Friday night footy. Can't wait. Should be another great weekend, and look forward to talking to you soon. All the best. Cheers.